Turning internet leads into sales dollars. Hello, this is Tom Hopkins. Thank you for joining me on this program on how to turn leads into dollars. Do you know what the two biggest complaints are from people who request information through an online lead generation offer? The first complaint is that they are bombarded with offers. The offers come from not only the company they were looking at, but from other sources that company may have sold their list to. The second complaint is that they never receive any follow-up contact at all. With more and more companies today turning to lead generation strategies online, it's critical that you have a plan for working with those leads and turning as many of the qualified people into closed sales. In order to gain contact information, many companies are offering free information in the forms of special reports, ebook, audio recordings, and brochures, even videos. Some businesses offer a free newsletter to tell more about your product or service. You see, in your type of business, there are a wide variety of offerings found on company websites, on personal websites, if especially you're an independent contractor, on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and are used on many other social media venues. The challenge with gathering leads this way is that the more information you require someone to give you in order to get what you're offering, the lower the number of prospective leads goes. Now, if you're asking questions that pre-qualify the leads, that should speed up your process of working with them later, and that's fine. Some companies, however, are only concerned with gathering the most basic contact information, such as names and email addresses, and to build a large database of leads. They will then have you, the salesperson, work the leads to find out who is truly qualified. As a salesperson, you want to know what your leads have been offered and exactly how much information they're being asked to provide. You should receive all the details of each contact so you know a little bit about them before you reach out to them. And you should read, review, or listen to whatever the information is that your company is providing. Before you start working your internet leads, please understand that not everyone will provide their real contact information. If you or your company offered a free report or analysis that could be received via email, then the email address is probably real, but they may have provided fake names or telephone numbers. You have no way to tell until you start trying to work with them. And believe me, there are folks out there who have set up email addresses just to receive free information. They get the information they want and never respond to anything else sent to that email address by you or your company. Don't get frustrated if you encounter these type of people, because the truth of the matter is they probably weren't good candidates for your product or service anyway. Just brush it off and move on to the next lead. As a true professional in sales, set your mind to contacting and treating every lead with the same level of service unless and until you find out that they are really not interested in your offering or they're not qualified for it. Your attitude and enthusiasm about what you're doing comes across in your speech. If you're holding on to frustration or unhappy about the qualified person you talked to that you now find out was not qualified, well, then what will happen is the next person you talk to will feel these emotions because you're not coming across with that positive, excited attitude. And of course, they won't want to do business with you. So you've got to be excited and enthusiastic about their product. So do yourself a favor and learn how to mentally wipe the slate clean and start fresh with every contact, anticipating that they may bring you the biggest sale of your career. As you contact your leads, you want to find out from each one exactly how they prefer to be contacted. So that's your first goal. However, in order to do that, you have to begin contacting them according to the information you're provided. If you receive an email address and name and nothing else, I recommend that your first contact be just a simple email introduction. Your message just might be worded something like this. Hello, Miss Parker. Thank you for your interest in, of course, name of the major benefit or product or service that you're providing. We appreciate the time you invested to learn more about how our company can serve your needs. My name is Tom Hopkins, and I'm at your service to provide additional information and answer any questions you might have. My contact information is below. In today's world, time is one of the most precious commodities that we have. In order not to impose upon you, please let me know how you prefer to be reached. If using this email address is best for you, please simply reply with that acknowledgement. If you prefer telephone contact, let me know which number to use and what time of day best suits your needs. I'm also happy to provide information via voicemail or text. Should the need arise to send you information via the Postal Service or another carrier, know that I will keep the address you give me confidential. Our company does not share or sell any client contact information. I've been authorized by my company to provide you with additional information and service related to what you learned about us in our special report. Most of our happiest long-term clients have found great benefit in receiving it. I look forward to providing it to you as well. Best wishes, Tom Hopkins. And be certain to include all of your contact information in your signature. People today want all access to their service providers. They want what they want, and they want it. If your business is such that you or someone in your company is available 24/7, let them know. If you have a lot of toll-free numbers or other contacts, let them know. The more ways you give them to contact you, the greater the likelihood that they will. So, now what do you do next? That depends on them, doesn't it? If you don't hear from them in a reasonable amount of time, say a week, send a second message. It should be similar to the first, but different enough that they recognize it as such. For example, you might mention a different benefit this time, or you might direct them to a special offer or page on your website. Hopefully, there will be something on that page that asks returning visitors to provide at least one more point of contact than what you already have. If you still get no response, start sending short, keeping in touch messages every 3 or 4 weeks, mentioning additional benefits of your product and testimonials from satisfied clients to pique their interest to know more and to learn more. They need to get in contact with you directly. If someone doesn't respond to your contacts, it could be that the person was excited enough about the information to get it initially, but the timing for them just wasn't right. Don't assume they're a no sale. Continue to be persistent. You never know where new business will come from. It may turn out that they're not a good candidate for your offering, but they could end up forwarding the information you send to someone else who is. I used to include a business card in every envelope I mailed, even my bills. Oh yeah, I would take a business card, write thank you on it, and I would put it in every bill I sent. And it was amazing how nothing happened for a few months. But all of a sudden, one day there was a message. I called the woman, and I, of course, in qualification, asked how she heard of me and why she contacted me. And she said, Mr. Hopkins, I work for the gas company, and you've been sending in your bill, and I've been opening it every month. And in the last 6 months, you've sent me 6 cards. And because of that, she said, my sister was deciding to look for a new home, and I thought to myself, if this man, Mr. Hopkins, is willing to contact me 6 times via putting a business card in his bill, then he's the type I want to have help my sister. You see, the advent of today's technology, while it has tremendous strength, also it has some major drawbacks as well. For people who just don't like talking with salespeople, they can gather a lot of information without giving out much information about themselves. They can, in essence, hide behind the technology. Your objective is to build enough trust through regular contact that by doing exactly what you say, you will coax them out from behind that veil of technology. Let's say you offer something that's used in a building or in a manufacturing plant. It may be appropriate for you to pop by and visit with your clients in person. An example might be if you sell office or warehouse equipment or even janitorial services to companies. When you get a company lead, it's easy to find their address for follow-up if it's not provided. You'll usually get the name of the purchasing agent or person responsible to research the product. It's nice for the clients to talk to you face-to-face with that type of lead. Many of my students find it easier to build trust in person than on the phone or email. Make your initial contact by phone to determine the best time to meet. If you know that your new leads prefer in-person contact, ask if it's okay for you to pop by when you're in the area, or if they prefer, you set a specific time to visit. Some people don't care when you stop by as long as you do stop by. It could be that the decision maker doesn't need to see you, but wants you to meet with some of the folks who will be using the product. It may be that you need to visit in person to perform a demonstration. Don't expect to get an hour-long meeting time. Simply let them know you're responding to their request for information, that you'd like to pop by to introduce yourself. By not asking for their time, they're more likely to offer it. They may say something like this: well, since you're going to stop by, why not make it at 10:30 in the morning so I can explain to you what we're thinking about. This strategy applies to both business and consumer sales. If you help homeowners create their ideal backyard environment, such as with a swimming pool or landscaping, a built-in barbecue, and so on, it would be prudent to meet with them at the home. You would want to see the area you have to work with and understand their current backyard lifestyle in order to pass along other ideas for enhancing their experience even more. If your company policy is to set appointments off of these leads, then suggest 2 different dates and times for a meeting to show that you're ready and willing to be flexible depending on their needs. You might say, Mr. Jackson, I can be in your area on Monday at 2, or would Tuesday at 9 in the morning be better for you? Suggest an amount of time you'd like to have with them, such as understanding that your time is valuable. It would be great if you could give me just 15 to 20 minutes to get a general idea of your needs. Then if we need more time, that will be up to you. In a way, you've given Mr. Jackson control of the meeting. However, you've really taken control in that you're getting 15 minutes of his time as opposed to no time at all. Telephone follow-up is perhaps the most common, most economical, and most difficult method of follow-up to turn into a memorable experience. Why? Just look at all the ways your clients can miss you. People can avoid your calls by using screening devices such as answering machines, personal assistants, or voicemail. If your phone calls to your potential client are being screened, you have to get creative to instill enough curiosity in the people you're trying to reach to make them want to talk with you. Even if the people you're trying to call aren't trying to avoid you or they're very busy, you may be offering something that at this point is not touching the hot button. But that's one reason why you have to follow up. Reaching someone by the telephone can be difficult if you aren't creative in your efforts. I had one of my students, a top person in the machine business. He sold the largest mainframe computer in the history of his company, and it's an international company. And he said it took him 6 contacts before he finally isolated the time with the decision maker. Also realize that you've got to get through people sometimes. You sometimes have a receptionist and her job is to hide the decision maker. Can be a private assistant. And sometimes even a business partner will be the person hiding that real decision maker. You have to learn to make an ally of these people. I had many top people in business that I became very good friends by following up, by sending thank you notes with their receptionists or secretaries. And those people became allies to help me to develop a business with the company and to get a hold of the decision maker. Worse yet, you may have to go through a voice tree system. And of course, following the prompts and going through that system is something I don't enjoy, and I'm sure a lot of people don't as well. But a pro realizes if that's the way the game is played, then you must play the game and follow the rules and become a master at ferreting out the real decision maker so that you can go to the next step and thus make the sale. But the real frustration comes only when, at the end of this gauntlet, you discover that you've gone through it all just so the decision maker can advise you to leave a message on or voicemail or to send an email message. If you aren't prepared with a creative and tempting message, how often do you think the important decision makers will return your call as it lines up with the dozens of other sales calls they receive on a daily basis? If you said, "Not often, you're right," so preparation before making calls is essential to increasing your odds of making a real connection with anyone. Create a teaser in the message that will want the person getting it to know more, to want to get information, and that is what's going to enhance them and excite them to want to get in touch with you. You see, this type of message, for example, will help you cut through the clutter and connect you with the people in charge. Try this. "Hello, Mary, it's Tom Hopkins at 555-1234. I'm sorry I missed you, but you may still have an opportunity to find out about our new program to increase quality production while decreasing company expenditures in labor and stored inventory. Look for the informational packet that I'll send to you on May 22nd. Expect a call back from me, Tom Hopkins, to discuss how you and your company will benefit from our new offer. Or for immediate information, call me tomorrow morning before 11 at 555-1234. Thank you, and I look forward to helping you." A short phone message like this will accomplish several goals. It piques the customer's interest by teasing them with possibilities of how to do their job more efficiently. It tells the decision maker, the individual, that you are offering some excellent benefits. Also, mentioning the benefits to the individual is a good habit to get into. Whether your offer of individual benefits occurs during follow-up or you incorporate it right into the fabric of your presentation, stroke the ego of a high-powered executive and show them how they'll look good to the corporate elite. And they'll be much more willing to consider your offering. It gives the customer a specific time to call if they want to hear more. By being specific, you can schedule your time to remain in your office to receive and return calls. This follow-up technique helps you avoid playing the annoying game of telephone tag with people you really need to reach. If the customer is too busy or has not been tempted enough to return your call at the suggested time, you've at least given yourself the opportunity to contact them via direct mail or email. And guess what follows the mailing? You guessed it, another phone call. The same strategy works in calling consumers. And if you'll adjust the message to build their curiosity about benefits specific to them, some prospects will also, of course, be hard to reach. So you'll need to follow up with them several times before finally getting a commitment to meet with them either in person or on the phone. Consider calling twice in a week and once each of the following weeks as a maximum. This should keep you viewed as being persistent instead of being a pest or pushy. That first week, the person you're trying to reach could have been away from the office, at a conference, or on vacation. Hopefully, they would have told you that in their outgoing voicemail message. Remember, those people who are persistent are rewarded. Some clients may not be as difficult to reach as they are difficult to close. You will also need a plan for following up with people who expressed an interest in your product, but for whatever reason, couldn't make the buying decision at that time. Now, let's discuss an old method of contact that is still very applicable in many situations: direct mail. Direct mail used to be the most common method of follow-up. With the advent of the internet and email, more companies are distributing information with those methods instead of putting a brochure or information in the postal mail. However, if your product or situation warrants, don't allow your follow-up mail piece to be ordinary. Personalize your direct mail follow-up to make it memorable for the person you're contacting. For example, you may want to include premiums with your mailings. Premiums are offerings that benefit customers when they respond to a mailing. They may include a special promotional discount on your offering or a coupon to use the services included in your mailed package. Sometimes a mailing includes nothing but a premium. When the premium is the only thing in the mailing, the only purpose of your follow-up is to build goodwill with your customers. If you use this method of follow-up, let the client know that you will call him in a few days for his feedback on whatever it was that you put in the mail. Your notice about the upcoming call gives you an excellent reason for another contact. I will say this too. You should always create win-win situations with your customers. They must feel value from hearing from you. They must feel that when they talk with you, there's a warm welcome there when you contact them in hopes of keeping or receiving their business. Another personal touch you can give to direct mailings is to include the words "for your information," also known as FYI, materials with a message of how your customers can benefit from them. FYI materials may have nothing to do with your actual product or service, but what they will do is let the client know you're thinking of them. So what qualifies as FYI material? Maybe you recently came across a press release relating to your client's field of expertise. For example, I remember I had one client, one of my best, who absolutely was a fanatic on tennis. And so I kept looking through magazines and papers to find ideas and things on tennis. And I would send him once a month a little note and information about tennis, and he looked forward to getting what I sent him, and I established tremendous rapport, long-term, many years relations of doing business with him. So sending the release may be of no direct, immediate benefit to you, but it will inform your clients of events that may profit them and let them know you're thinking about them. The more spontaneous your FYIs are, the more effective they will be. Instead of writing a formal cover letter for your FYIs, just jot a little handwritten note and attach it to the mailed material. Your note can be as simple as a few lines to let him know that you were thinking about him. Don't forget to include your business card with the note, and maybe a little teaser about what the news as things are going on with your product or service. Okay? If you or your company are generating leads from the internet and you'd like to try to get more of them, take a look at what you're asking versus what you're offering. Then consider testing some alternate offers. Also, test different levels of information required. Compare the numbers and quality of the leads you're getting to determine just the right combination for your needs. With the strategies in this video, I wish you great success as you work your way through the leads you're generating through your online efforts. Make them come back as profits, and I thank you so much for your time.